Hello, everybody, and welcome to Minding My Business, where every single Tuesday I get to interview a powerhouse guest. And today I have a surprise. I'm like, you know what? Let me reintroduce myself to you guys because it's been a minute, and I think it's important to reintroduce myself to you, to Q&A myself. If you have any questions on your own in relation to minding my business, to elevate your business, your mindset, and your life, you can drop them below. And this is just going to be a very special interview on somebody that I truly hold near and dear to my heart, and it's myself. It's myself. And so I want to just, I guess, still show up as far as having this interview and making sure that you're served, and get to know also what's inside of my mind and how I operate as a woman in business, and how I consistently elevate my business, my mindset, and my life. And so welcome. Let's get this party started. Just for you to know, this is a show dedicated to celebrate women who have created a lane for their self, their business, stay in their lane, and who are doing extraordinary things. This show, not a lot of you guys know about this, but this show is specifically created as I was healing my relationship with women. And one thing you guys know about me is I'm very transparent. I'm very open about whatever you guys want to know about, because I feel like the more information that I give you guys, the more you're able to also elevate yourself. So as I was healing my relationship with women, I was like, I need to create a platform. I need to create a table in which I get to really build a relationship and get to celebrate women that are doing extraordinary things, having very intellectual conversations so that we can all grow and aspire together. And this show has been up and running for about a year now, and it's been pretty powerful, pretty amazing. And so today I'm just going to interview myself. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop them below. I'll be happy to look at them. All right. So also, if you are loving these live streams for Minding My Business, make sure you screenshot this and share this into your social platform. Before we get started, let your friends know that we're going to be having a really powerful conversation for this next hour. And just give it love. If you're watching the replay, drop your comments below on what diamonds that you got to get out of it. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm interviewing myself. It's pretty funny. Okay, so the first question is, what got me in the line of work that I do today? If you guys have watched interviews, I've been doing a lot more podcasts recently. This line of work has tremendously given, I'm getting so emotional. It's given me a reason to live. There's been a few times in my life where, Okay, so there's been many times in life where I questioned life, and to have tools and to have resources and to consistently grow and expand and to be able to serve others like yourself, whether it being a podcast, whether it being a live stream, whether it being an interview, whether it being coaching, whether it being an a la carte online course, it's a way of really serving. And when we are in a space of deep, dark spaces, we're able to really feel a high level of fulfillment. And when you feel, you're welcome. So when you feel that you're truly serving other people, it gives you a reason to continue on when you feel that you might not want to be here anymore. And when you feel people's appreciation and gratitude and they say thank you and you've helped them impact their life, it gives you like a purpose beyond yourself. You know that it's God's calling. You know that you're in alignment, and it gets you excited to wake up every single morning when you're able to take yourself out of it. But when you realize like you are required as a vehicle, as a vessel to relay the message, I realized I had to pour everything into me in order to be that vehicle to serve at higher levels for other people. And so a lot of my business, as far as becoming an executive coach, I didn't even introduce what I do. Okay. So what I do is I do executive coaching for high-end achievers. I help people, high-end entrepreneurs operate at high levels mentally, physically, emotionally, and energetically. Like how you're fully showing up with your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit. With that entails three subcategories of self-mastery, emotional intelligence, and operating at peak performance no matter what throws at you. As human beings, life can become pretty heavy at times. And if you're not able to execute and deliver, then people are going to find other people. And when you understand it's not personal, it's business, you're able to remove the personal from the business and still operate. You still have to execute on what it is that you need to execute on. And so, especially when you're responsible for a lot of people and you're responsible for companies and employing people and supporting people, whether you're a leadership in your household or you're a leadership for a Fortune 500 company, it doesn't matter. So that's what I do. I have a book coming up. So I will be soon to be author and also run podcasts here on Instagram, and then we transfer them over to Spotify. So make sure you give them some really solid reviews. And that's what I do. But what got me in this line of work is my desire for finding a way to get me to operate at higher levels and becoming, some people want to call it obsession. I call it very passionate. Thank you so much, Sophia. It was sophisticated. Miss Sophisticated. So it's really the journey of self-discovery, of figuring out how I can be. At first, when I started off, it was how do I look, feel, and be my best self? And I couldn't figure out what I did because I had to create a lane for myself. And so I sought out and invested a lot of money into like coaches and mentors and reading any book I can get my hands on that would make me better. Yeah, so that's just kind of like how I got into it. I was from a space of addiction. I came from a lineage of addicts. And I was super self-destructive. Like I said, I didn't want to be here anymore. And I was on this journey where I even got this tattoo here. So this is like the little Jesus fish at 22 years old. And I got this tattoo. And let me know if I'm rambling too, because there's so many, I like to tell you guys too, there's so many seasons within your lifeline that you no longer have to consistently claim. And that's why I wanted to come on here and reintroduce myself. Because every single year, if you're doing your growth work, it requires you to reintroduce yourself to the people that think that they know you because you're not the same person anymore. So next time when I come on here and be like, oh, I'm a published author, I'm writing a book, like that is something, a reintroduction of something that you're working on. Oh, I have blonde hair now, where I don't have red hair anymore. That's a old identity. This is the new me. So I wanted to give people, what am I doing? I'm like rambling here a little bit. Okay. Hold on. Let me bring it together here. So many segments. This is very hard interviewing myself. Okay. So if you guys I thought this would be a lot easier. I'm not even going to lie. So that's what got me into it, is I was trying to seek answers. I was trying to seek the truth. I was trying to seek people that could really help me elevate and like living life in my full potential, not just the idea of it. When I played ice hockey, at a very elite level, I was told my whole life that I had so much potential. And I don't know if you're like me, but I was getting tired of it. I was like, that you're telling me then I'm not living as the highest expression of myself. That means that there's something missing. That means that I'm not doing something right, because if I have potential, that means I haven't leveled up into my potential. So I got on this journey of figuring out, number one, when I made the decision to like really, really pour into myself so that I can pour into other people, on this mission to seek out the truth and to figure out how to become my greatest asset versus my greatest liability. Because I've been in multiple seasons where I was way more a liability to myself and to others than I was an asset. And I'm sure many of you can also agree that there's points in your life where you're actually just no good for other people. And that's the power of really pouring into your self-care. So that's like long story short, emotional little journey getting into now the next question, which is, and please, if you guys have questions, like this is for you. What are some daily habits or rituals you do in the morning, night that are non-negotiables to keep you operating at peak performance? Actually, I got contacted by a magazine recently. So what's up, Bullshark? So I got actually just got an email. I have to get back to them, but and they want me to talk about morning routine. So this is like my jam right here. Some daily habits and rituals that I do in the morning that are non-negotiables to keep me at operating at peak performance. Number one, your morning routines, the level of success with your morning is going to be impacted by what you do the night before. So my night rituals and routines are very sacred. My night routine typically consists of, if you guys are high performance, you know you don't like boring stuff and you need healthy stimulation. So not every single night looks exactly the same, but I do have a box where I cycle through things, and I always try to share it on my social media. Typically, it's some form of stretching or yoga. I like to clean the house a little bit before I head to bed because I don't want to wake up in the morning with anxiety. So I'll clean, I'll tidy. I have three core non-negotiables at night, and it's always I like to shower and cleanse. It helps just calm me, relax me as I drink my magnesium tea. I'll do my journal. I have a four-step process of journaling that I do with reframing, auditing my day, going back, seeing how I would course correct it, what I would do different, what I would say different, and then my wins, what I did right, building myself up, my challenges. Sorry, I got a call in. And then so I think I got you guys back. Okay. I do my meditation, always a non-negotiable. And then my prayers, my meditations. And when I'm laying in bed, I do some visualization work, and I visualize the embodiment of me as my most elite self. So that work also comes from Dispensa. That's my night routine. Sounds like a handful. It's about an hour. My morning routine, that sets me up for success. I hit that about 90% of the time, unless you guys see me twirling around salsa dancing once a week. My morning routine consists of getting up. I have affirmations in my mirror, so I'll read my affirmations. I have a rule. I read my affirmations out loud. I speak life into myself. First thing in the morning when I see myself, I look myself in the eye and I speak life into myself. It's always a non-negotiable. That self-dialogue is a huge part of building yourself up, and you're responsible for that. I'll do a brain dump of everything I want to get done and things that I need to get done. I'll level it into a level of importance. Always working out, and then I'll meditate, shower, get ready for the day. Have a rule. I'm always going to get ready. During COVID, I got pretty depressed because I was in my PJs for months at a time. So I was like, girl, this is not happening, sister. Get up, get ready, get dressed, a little lip gloss, just something natural, a little glow, but you got to get up. So those are some of my non-negotiables. The next question is, what tools do I use for pivoting and being in the right mindset when I'm in a stressful state before trying to solve any situation, grow, or expand? It really depends when it comes to pivoting. But when it comes to pivoting, I will say before I pivot, I really do a lot of, I don't make a decision for 24 to 48 hours, especially if I am emotional. I will journal it. I will pray about it. I will surrender to it. I'll sometimes just take a break. I'll go to the beach. The beach is always like my sacred place. I highly recommend that you guys always have a place to go to when you're feeling like life is very heavy for you, when you feel like you just don't know, that you need clarity. And I always pray for clarity as well. But when it comes to pivoting and being in the right mindset, I give myself 24 to 48 hours, depending on if the pivot has been from the outside or something that I've imposed. And then what I also do is tools is mentors. I bring I really check my lineup. I make sure that the people in my lineup are going to be phenomenal resources to providing me the right information. If it's something that is not in my skill set, if it's something that I am not an expert in, I will bring the experts in that will help me pivot to give me the right answers. So those are a few of my tools to keep my head right and to make sure that I stay on course and that I'm held accountable. And then number 3 is, how do you keep focused when life is chaotic and all you feel, or when you feel like the odds are against you? Focus is, you make a list. You make a list and you follow through. I have courses on procrastination. I have coaches when it comes to that. I have homework assignments. I set deadlines for myself. I have a lot of things that clients are counting on me to show up. I have people and commitments that I've set. And one thing about me, if you know, is that I will always deliver, if not over deliver. And if I can't, I will always communicate it, because something seriously happened if I'm not able to stay focused. But a lot of that comes down to also like really taking care of myself, taking care of my mental, physical, emotional, and even my spiritual. But the biggest thing, my favorite tool, is I will use my phone timer. And like I mentioned, I'll make a list of all the tasks that I need to get done and want to get done. I make sure that I'm in a really high levels mentally, physically, and emotionally before I project any of my energy into my work, or with my clients, or anything in relation to business, or even showing up on this stuff. And I set my timer. So I'll say 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. And this is how I get massive things done, especially when I have everything time blocked. I have everything audited. That's why the biggest reason for productivity is I created that whole productivity course for you guys. As far as, do you have any tools or resources you use when you're feeling low, doubt, discouraged, not being able to handle the role that you're currently playing? Yeah, I do go to yoga. I always turn back to my exercise. One thing about exercise is exercise was designed to quiet the chaos of the mind. So I always go back to that. I make sure that I'm in that space. I make sure that I'm getting enough sleep. I also make sure, when it comes to my tools, I have the beach. It's very similar things. Like, it's very, very foundational. My foundation is in place. And when that foundation is in place, I mean, yes, some things can come up and some things can really impact us. However, if we're fully like making sure that our foundation is solid, then everything else is just going to work itself out. As far as tools, I will say I use EFT. I did some EFT yesterday. EFT is emotional freedom technique. I journal. I reframe in my journals, and that helps a lot with creating new neuroplasticity. It also helps let go of guilt. It helps let go of shame, of when you are judging yourself or you're projecting guilt and shame on yourself for something that you messed up on, or something that you regret you did or you said. So that helps a lot as well. But I'm really big on the EFT. I have a whole sequence on on emotional intelligence, which is processing negative thoughts and emotions. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I created a whole business around those core things, but I do use them often, and they are very, very helpful. But I will say, to share one with you, is it's EFT. EFT is energy psychology. It's emotional freedom. You tap on certain meridian points. You tap on the meridian points of the body as you allow the nervous system to regulate, and you're able to tell your body that it's safe to express itself and to communicate without having any repercussions. So you are able to regulate your nervous system, and just say whatever it is, and understand really truly how to communicate with yourself. This one question, as far as, do I feel that self-worth impacts my net worth, or that my net worth impacts my self-worth? Something I spoke about earlier was about the triangle. It's like a trinity. And we have self-worth, our network, and our net worth. I did this on a podcast the other day. And we have these 3 segments, right? So our self-worth, our network, and our net worth. And they all intertwine and impact each other. For a long time, more than half of my life, I had to really, I didn't have very high self-worth, and I didn't know it at the time, because when I didn't have any money, I felt powerless. I felt limited. I felt that I had to compromise a lot of my core values. I had to compromise who I was. I did things that was out of my integrity, and I don't even think I had established integrity in my 20s. And even in my late 20s, I didn't even know really what that was. So there was a point where, as I started making more, it did help with the self-worth. But when you run a business, sometimes it's an up and down. And so what I've learned throughout the course of everything is, when you build up your self-worth, and the self-worth stems from how the level you treat yourself, how you treat yourself and you take care of yourself, will impact your value. And when your value goes up, your worth goes up. And then that impacts and attracts the people that want to be around you, the conversations that you're having, and also which will impact your net worth. So the money that you're generating in, the money that you're making, the prices that you want to charge, and pouring into yourself. The more that I poured into myself with coaching and mentoring also helped tremendously with build that up. So they definitely, I feel, all intertwine. But when you truly pour into you, because at any point in time, something can happen. And I've experienced this several points in my life where everything is just gone. The money that you worked hard for, the relationships that you worked for is just gone, removed from your life. So you have to have an unwavering strength, an unwavering certainty in your value and in your worth, because if you have that, you will build everything up tenfold. Who did you have to become, and what did you have to overcome in order to step into the woman you are today? I had to overcome a lot of stuff. I had to overcome something that I learned from one of my coaches. Was there's 5 core obstacles that truly do block our blessings: self-doubt, anger, cravings and desires, procrastination, laziness, and anxiousness. So I had to overcome all of those things. I had to find tools. I had to establish tools in a toolbox to help me be strong enough so that when those things would creep back into my life, I would pull my tools to get me back to feeling the opposite of everything. So I had to overcome a lot of those. And who do I have to, what did I have to do to become her? I had to become very courageous. I had to become a woman of God, to believe in something above myself, to establish unwavering faith. There's a lot that I'm still in the space of becoming, changing my mindset, thinking a lot bigger. I had to overcome trying to do it alone, and being able to discern and bring on the right lineup for me, bringing on the right people in my circle and on my team. And also a lot of clarity, and just daily putting in my repetitions. This is so much easier, you guys. Having a conversation with somebody else versus interviewing myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so easy. What core values do you set? What core values do you have set when it comes to friendships and any form of inner circle people? core values, this was something that I got very clear on this year. Core values are people that are heart-centered and that are connected, or they're doing the work of connecting deeper to their heart. Because I know that they're truth seekers. I know that they're going to be always trying to do the right thing, because heart-centered is God-centered. So some form of core value has to be really also on the journey of self-mastery and a strong sense of emotional intelligence, because there's going to be segments in life where there's going to be hard conversations, and you have to be certain in who you are. You have to be able to hold your ground no matter what you encounter. People that are also open to apologizing when they're in the wrong, or at least being open-minded to hear things from your side and point of view. So also strong communicators. But so these are more like core values that I really have learned to really appreciate a lot more. I will say too, conscious love, coming from a space of conscious love, because I've been seeing a lot of people talk about loyalty. And from my own perspective, there was a lot where I was more loyal to other people than I was to myself, to like my true self, to the highest expression of myself. And I might have been loyal to somebody else, but that means I was betraying myself. And so the people that I also look for in my inner circles and in friendships are people that have a strong sense of loyalty to themselves first and foremost, because I know that they're going to have a high level of fulfillment. And even if I don't agree, because it might come from a space of what I want, I know that they're staying true to their calling in life. And if I am a good friend, I'm going to love them, even if we are not on the same path, but I will still love and support them. And that's what really conscious love is. So that's what I see some core values are, as far as like when it comes to my inner friendships, and of course wanting to grow and wanting to expand and wanting to better themselves. Is a really, really big thing in any form of relationship, even in something that I'm potentially thinking about being in an intimate relationship. But friendships are intimate relationships, so I would say that. And wow, this is like a quick interview with myself. I guess there was another one that was in here, but maybe I answered it. What do I do? And I get this a lot too. I was asked to do a reels on this, so I've been recording a few things. As high end achievers, we can easily get into a space of like really trying to push through, and understanding that, are you pushing through because you don't want to do it, or are you pushing through because you haven't taken a break and you're about to burn out based on all the commitments that you've made, and maybe over committing to people, places, and things and projects. So when I feel like I'm yellow lighting, the core things that I do is I always make sure that I'm having fun, so that I don't end up resenting what I'm doing. I had a conversation with a client on this the other day, and you have to make sure that you are enjoying the hard. Make sure that you're enjoying whatever it is that you're doing. If you're doing a reels, if you're doing a live stream, if you are doing TikTok stuff, if you're serving a client, if you're whatever it is, like I try to make sure I do my best, because the moments where I do exhaust myself is because I'm not enjoying the process. Even something simple like cleaning, right? Well, it's not simple. I think it's the hardest thing ever, because like I emotionally do not want to clean. Like it's not something that's therapeutic for me. Some people, it's therapy for them. For me, it is not. But I figure out how to have fun with it. So I will light my candle. I'll put my aromatherapy on. I'll put some salsa music on. I will just figure out how to find and create the fun around what I'm doing. When I'm writing a book, things that I don't want to do, like the hard, redundant things that are going to get you to the other side, how do I have fun with this? So that's one of the things, is that fun segment. That's something that I've learned later on in life in the reintroduction phases of who I am today. Now, last question. If I could leave the audience with one golden takeaway that if you applied it, would impact your life for the better, what would that one thing be? That one thing would be to just focus on winning today. That's been a lot of my mindset recently, is just win today. If I go to bed at night, if you go to bed at night and you rest your head on the pillow, can you honestly say that you did everything that you knew was possible to be proud of yourself? And maybe that was just pouring into your health today, your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, to recharge yourself, because it's what you needed to be able to continue with the demand of what tomorrow brings. But you're not living in tomorrow, you're just winning today. So what is the winning today for you, especially when it's a heavy day? So just win the day. And I hope this interview really served you. You saw the emotional side of me today, just in my feelings. So thank you so much for listening. I truly appreciate you hanging out with me. And, last minute cancels, they happen, but the show must go on. Thank you so much. The show must go on. So if you found value in today's episode, just screenshot this episode and share it on your social platforms, share it in your stories, and let's just serve more people together, and share with your business besties. Make sure you screenshot this. And if you're watching the replay, comment below one of your greatest takeaways. I might have, rushed through some questions, but this is really hard interviewing myself, but we did it, because we can do hard things, right? All right, you guys, sending you so much love, and I'm sending you so much light. And today, remember to look, feel, and show up as that's what I asked in my story, best self or most elite self. So show up as your most elite self today, because you deserve to. All right. Bye, you guys. Have a blessed up day, and I will see you later. Bye.